She's come back for her second podcast. Nicolette Casarotto, practising nutritionist, is back, and we're going to talk about a really cool topic this week, women's health and weight loss. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me again. I'm excited. This is another one of my favourite topics.
Let's rip in.
Welcome to the Body Science Podcast, bringing you everything you need, want, and should know about health, fitness, nutrition, and training. As always, the information contained in this podcast is for the information purposes only and is not designed to diagnose or be prescriptive to treat, prevent, or manage any injury, disease, or other health-related condition. Today's podcast is brought to you by Hydroxyburn Shred Ultra Nootropic Thermogenic. Shred Ultra is scientifically engineered to shred body fat, ignite metabolism, and boost all-day energy while enhancing cognitive performance, focus, clarity, and mood. It combines powerful fat-burning thermogenics, garcinia, green coffee bean, guarana, caffeine, and an industry-leading 4 grams of acetyl L-carnitine with potent nootropic ingredients at effective therapeutic doses to give you maximum results.
Welcome to Body Science HQ, the world of fit, happy, healthy. I'm going to add on to the end of that this week, women's health and weight loss. And that's a big topic. And I've called in the big guns today. And let's just get right to the point here. We had a lot of people call us and say they loved your last podcast with us, the one on mental health. So I'm going to throw, what's your Instagram account out right now so people know what we're talking about?
Naturally Nicolette.
So if they just search Naturally Nicolette, they're going to find you?
It'll pop straight up.
What about if we jump on Google? What are we typing?
So you can search Naturally Nicolette. It is naturally-nicolette.com. But if you pop it straight into Google, show straight up too.
Okay, so I've put that out in the beginning of this because I think a lot of females are going to want to reach out to you after this little chat. So let's talk about women's health. I'm going to go there. You ready? Increase calories during a period. Something I know nothing about. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to be a very good listener.
This one is so interesting because not many people know this, and that's both male and female. And I see so many women go onto these crazy gym challenges or put themselves on a diet and they put themselves straight into a calorie deficit and stick at that number for the whole time instead of, increasing their calories when they need to. And they say, oh, this week I feel terrible. I'm so hungry, but I have to stay in a deficit to lose weight. I'm like, well, no, you don't. Your body needs more calories. So during the month, this is very different for everyone. Some people might need extra calories right before their period, right after, or during. It could look anywhere from 5 days or 2 days. So it's really about tracking yourself. I think it's a great idea to keep a journal, even if it's for just a couple months, to gauge for yourself where in the month you usually feel the most hungry or even the least hungry. So that's going to be a really good indicator for the months that follow when you can expect to want more food or even less food. So some women might need an extra 30% more calories. Other women might need an extra 10%. But on average, I usually say 20 to 30% more calories are needed in that week around your period. And for women as well, they usually don't feel like they want to exercise during this time. Okay. And that's okay too.
Yep.
So strength exercising is usually the biggest one. I find women usually want to go for a walk or do anything light, but then they feel really guilty if they're not sticking to their gym, because usually a lot of the trainers, mostly male as well, aren't acknowledging that through this time, they can't physically push their bodies to the same they might a week before. Don't get me wrong, some women can stick to it the whole month at the same intensity, but others don't. Something as basic as your period can impact your sleep, energy, your hormones. And if you're having an off day, you need to recognize that and be okay with that as well. And know, hey, I need to eat a bit more today. I'm in a deficit. I might just go back up to maintenance, maybe a bit over my maintenance calories, and I'll stick with my training a bit more high intensity next week. And that's okay for me.
So for these females out there that aren't as rigid in their macros as someone in the fitness industry might be, and there's a big gap there, as you know, and you talked about journaling, you're talking about your feelings when you were talking about journaling?
I would just basically write down like maybe Monday to Thursday, felt more hungry around lunchtime.
Yep.
Friday felt normal again. This week, feeling great with my eating, nothing out of the ordinary. Today, I was starving all day, no matter how much I ate. I just kept wanting more food.
Yep.
And then you could ate a lot of veg and chicken, also felt like a lot of sugar. That way, the next month, if it's the same pattern, you might be like, hey, cool. Every 3 days before my period, those 3 days, I'm starving. I'm going to make sure I'm eating more and I can fulfill that. And that's okay with me.
And from a nutritionist point of view, is there certain types of foods that we should be looking for?
A really good one is your healthy fats and your protein. We definitely want to make sure we're still getting our carbs in, but our healthy fats for sure. So olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds, and protein at every serve. This is just your foundations. This is going to help with your energy level as well. Great for our brain. It's really great for our hormones. So just making sure you are looking after yourself with your nutrition. It's so easy to go straight for that fast food, the lollies and chocolate and ice cream. Usually that does have a ripple-on effect though. So you're going way over your calories, that you're still wanting more natural food, and you're going to eat more nutritious food, and then your sleep's going to be impacted, your exercise, your energy, and then that guilt comes in and you're like, okay, I'm already eating way over. I'm just going to keep going for the week.
So if we were to put a number on this, and I know a lot of people don't like putting numbers on things, but just as a basic guide, did you talk a percent? Did you say 30% extra calories early?
I usually say around 30%, which sounds like a lot. But you're usually only going up by 30% for probably 3 days on average from what I've usually gathered from clients is usually it's 3 days that you got 30%, and very naturally, and this is me and a lot of people I know, is post your period, you tend to eat a little bit less anyway. So across the month, your calories even out. In calories as a whole, I personally don't track. I always suggest to look at hitting your calorie target over 7 days opposed to day to day. And for women, that's really important as well, because if you do go up by 30% for a couple of days of the week, most of the time between 7 to 14 days, they pretty much even out.
So why do you work on that 7 day versus daily? That's a really interesting, I like that.
Because your body just changes way too much. I think you might have a day that you have had a huge day at work, you've been on your feet all day, you've exercised, you are starving. You want to have an extra half a serve of dinner and your body needs it. That day you might go over your calories by 200. The next day you've got that extra food in, you're not exercising, work's a bit more chill, so you might naturally eat less. So that way you're not forcing yourself to eat so much more food to hit that target. On the weekends, we know people like to party a little bit more, might go out with friends, socialize. So through the week, you can even bank those calories for the weekend. So a really good thing I like to, tell people, especially through the holiday periods or a birthday period, is maybe take off 50 to 100 calories Monday to Friday, add them onto your Saturday night.
Yeah, nice
and
work.
Through
Good
that
advice.
mindset, people are like, amazing, I can still have my fun night out and it's not going to interrupt my progress.
So, okay, here's a big question on that's great advice. And here's a big question. How do I track my weight loss correctly then?
I am very big on doing 3 different things. Weighing yourself the exact time every week. I usually say a Wednesday or Thursday morning. Don't do it a Monday, Tuesday at the start of the week when you're probably a little dusty from the weekend or had a big weekend. Do it when you're pretty solid into your eating and exercise for the week. So first thing in the morning, I say to do it as soon as you've woken up and gone to the bathroom before you've had anything to eat or drink. So get up, go to the bathroom, weigh yourself, record that number, and then look at it again the following week. Take measurements of yourself, so body measurements, keep these tracking. So you can do this once a week, once a month, whatever works for you. And the third is to take progress photos. This one is my personal favorite. Nice. I see so many people that are like, hey, the scales haven't moved at all, or I've maybe lost 1 kilo this month, but then they see photos of themselves and their body composition is completely different. And they're like, hey, I actually have done amazing.
That's good.
So don't get so caught up in that number on the scales. And at different times of the month for women, the scales are going to be so different. It can fluctuate so much depending on what you've eaten, how much you've had to drink. You may have had a lot of salt in your food the day before, so you're going to retain water. The next day you might be a kilo heavier than you usually would be.
Yeah, nice stuff. So look, we're talking about a topic that most males don't talk about, but let's just talk about iron-rich foods. So not something I'm an expert at. Can you entertain us with some tips and some things we should look for, and probably some timings on when we should look at these foods too?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've definitely got your standards of red meat, pork, seafood. Another really big one that a lot of people don't recognize is your beans, fortified foods, especially in breads, pastas, your classics of dark leafy vegetables, so spinach. I find spinach is a really great one. There's so many ways to get iron in your diet at each meal very naturally. I'm a big fan of spinach and actually adding that to my smoothies. So every day I have a smoothie, I keep a bag of spinach in my freezer and I just pop a handful of that into a smoothie. It has zero taste. You cannot tell it's in there, and I know straight away I've got iron to start my day. So
for everyone out there that's listening, you're going bullshit call on that. So you just grab a handful, like not a big loaded handful, just a palm or you grab a big chunk?
A decent handful. I just use baby spinach leaves and pop it in my smoothie, and it has zero taste.
And that's enough every day to kickstart that process?
Not enough, but it is enough for that one meal in the morning.
Yeah, okay, cool.
for breakfast.
And how should we be consuming our iron? Like if we're, obviously irons is very topical, and you often hear of, I've got a daughter and I've got a wife and I've got for an iron shot, like that's not anything unusual. So is that because when we're consuming iron, should it be a continual gradual process or should it be lump sums? How do we deliver that best to our body?
I think just having it as a normal part of your diet.
Yep.
Ideally, if you can be having a source of iron daily, definitely red meat is a really great one. Not everyone eats red meat.
Yep.
I personally know for a fact I do not eat much red meat.
Yep.
I went through a stage of getting my blood checked probably twice a year over a 2 to 3 year period because I know I was struggling with my iron. And that was a thing for me that I had to keep checking on because I knew as soon as I was getting really tired and lethargic, I was like, okay, let's check my iron levels. You can get so many supplements out there for iron. If you are struggling, you can get your shots, and also making sure you are getting your B12 to support that too.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Well done. So let's talk about intuitive eating and eating for your body. And I mean, your topic here is women and weight loss. Let's talk about that intuitive eating side here that, you know, if everyone listening out there, obviously the girls would understand this a lot more than us, but us guys have got to acknowledge this as well when we're living with partners or we're living with kids or whatever it is we're doing.
Intuitive eating is something that I love, and I really coach a lot of my clients around this and how to adapt this lifestyle. And it is essentially a mindful eating and listening to your body.
Yep.
So knowing when you're hungry, knowing when you're eating from boredom or stress, and also knowing what foods you need. So one of my rules of thumb is if you're going for a snack and you're not too sure if you feel like it, have a drink of water, walk away, remove yourself from the situation, maybe call a friend, call a family member for a quick chat, send a text message, jump on your phone for 2 minutes, and then it's almost like a distraction. If you're still hungry, go back to the fridge or pantry and see if there's anything you want. Another little tip is to have something super low calorie and very plain and see if your body's wanting more food. A lot of the time, if you're eating out of boredom or that stress especially, you might have one bite and you're like, oh, I actually don't really want this, but it's just your go-to. So knowing to yourself, okay, let me see if I really want this food.
And what is your go-to in that? When you're experiencing that, what's your go-to? Because everyone's just going, oh God, what's that food? Please tell me.
My go-to is, mine's usually a piece of fruit.
Okay.
So I usually go for blueberries or maybe a strawberry.
Yep.
And if I feel I'm still pretty peckish, I might make something a little bit bigger. I might turn that piece of fruit into having a little bit of granola and yogurt. I might make a smoothie. I usually do have a smoothie every day. I'll have it either first thing and do a big one for breakfast or like early afternoon, just after lunch. So
come on, tell us what's in your smoothie. We all want to know.
In my eye,
there's obviously frozen spinach leaves. We've got that.
There is frozen spinach leaf. So I always have the same base. I do my smoothies on water.
Yep.
A lot of people think I'm crazy, but I only do water, ice, baby spinach. I do use protein powder.
Yep.
Mine is the Body Science Low Carb Lean 5.
We love that too, just quietly.
That is my favorite.
Yeah.
That one is my favorite. I've gotten so many people onto that. I do a scoop of that in banana. So from that straight away, it goes really creamy. And then I've got a lot of fillers. So I will use collagen powder.
Yep.
And I do love the Body Science with the Tender Fort because for my recovery, that's great. I have spirulina, vitamin C. What else do I usually have? And avocado.
Well, that's an awesome smoothie. I like that one.
I put avocado. Avocado is a great one in it. And I will either keep it like that and add berries, more green, so it's more of a fruity, or I'll do peanut butter and raw cacao powder and do like a chopped peanut butter if I wanted something a little bit more dessert-like.
That'd be like a thick shake too, wouldn't it? The consistency of that. So that'll be actually make you feel full. That's the tidy side to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. So usually I have that as a meal, or I make it quite small. So it's enough, about 350 calories for my afternoon. And from that, I love it. I find because it's water-based, I cut out at least 100 calories from having a form of milk, and the protein powder and banana makes it really creamy. So I use about half a frozen banana.
Yeah, nice. I love that one. Okay, so we've got the smoothie of the decade going. I love that. I think that's going to become very popular.
Smoothies are great as well for women. If you are on your period and wanting something and you feel like snacking, have a smoothie. Do a chocolate peanut butter, like make it fun for yourself. Even if you have it after dinner, if you're wanting that sweet treat, it's always a really good option for you. Just instead of having those snacks and doing that stress or boredom eating or trying to fill calories because you're just still so peckish, go for a smoothie.
And for all you girls out there, just no make two, because us boys want in on that smoothie as well. That sounds awesome. So if people want to find you, you're on Instagram. Let's hit it again.
Naturally Nicolette.
And there's lots of good advice, lots of cool pictures, and you love your food, which it was really nice to talk to you about that and talk about this topic of women's health and weight loss. I think we need to get you on more and more because I think people are really going to enjoy what you're saying.
Thank you so much. I love talking about this stuff. I could go on all day, and yes, definitely have a look at my Instagram. If anyone's got any questions, send me a message and I'm more than happy to answer them or have a chat about any of this in deeper conversation.
And if any of the girls and guys out there you're a practicing nutritionist, want to actually talk to you, do they hit your website and book you?
You can message me through Instagram or my website. Either way, both have all my details on there, and you can book a consultation or just send me a message if you want to have a chat.
Love that. Someone who's changing the fitness industry. I love hearing it. It was really nice talking to you today. Thanks for coming on board.
Thanks so much for having me on again. Can't wait to do this on another topic soon.
Perfect. Catch you soon.
Thank you. Bye, guys.